What's GDP? All right. Wow, GDP, or gross domestic product, is the total value of all final goods and services produced in the economy during a given year. So imagine that this is all that we've produced in the U.S. in 2016, and this is one way to calculate GDP, and this is with expenditures. So imagine that this book costs $6.70, this book costs $4.30, this book costs $5, and this book costs $7. So knowing that, we can calculate that our final goods in the U.S. in 2016, we just add it all together, so it's $23, and that is our gross domestic product in 2016 in the USA.
You can go.
What was your total income in 2016?
$4.
What was your total income in 2016?
$10.
What was your total income in 2016?
$9.
Second way to calculate GDP is looking at the total income of laborers. So one person had $4, another person earned $10, and another person earned $9. So the total income of laborers in 2016 in the U.S. was $23. Now you might notice that the total income is equal to expenditures. That's key.
So the two ways to calculate GDP, which we just went over, is income and expenditures. First, we'll look at income, and it's basically just the total incomes of all the people in our country. So that includes labor wages, corporate profits, proprietors' incomes, rental income, net interest, and depreciation. Then there's also expenditures, which is the total amount of money businesses and consumers have spent on products. So to calculate it, we look at what consumers have spent, we look at what investments have been spent, which is basically just all of the money put into making a product, like factories and supplies and construction. And then this is government, so anything the government spends, including government employees' wages. And then this is the net exports, so exports that we're sending away from our country and imports that we're buying in our country.
What's not included in GDP?
I don't know.
What's not included in GDP?
The rest of the alphabet.
Alicia, what's included in GDP?
I don't know. Aren't intermediate goods included?
Okay, so we already talked about all of the things that are included in calculating GDP, but we just wanted to add that there is a difference between including intermediate goods and final goods in the spending. So basically, if I have this book here, this is the final good because it's what consumers are buying. But the intermediate goods that are going into making this book include maybe the paper or like the ink that's put on the page and the printing press that goes into making it. So when we're calculating GDP, we're only going to calculate the cost of the final book because the intermediate costs are already included in the final cost. And if we included the intermediate and the final in calculating GDP, we'd be repeating and adding up more money than we needed to.
700.
30 trillion.
500 million.
Alright, so now we're going to look at the current GDPs all over the world. Over here, we have USA at $19.4 trillion. We have China at $12.2 trillion, India at 2.6, and Ghana at 47.3 billion. Not so gross anymore, huh?